here's some of my background and how my educational philosophy evolved over time. I started as a course creator back in 2021 when I was teaching people how to use various software tools. I made my first course, I think, about editing in DaVinci Resolve, which was at that time not as mainstream of a video editing software as it is right now. So that's why I kind of was able to amount quite a lot of students organically without me having to have an audience, a following, or having to do any outreach by myself. Um, Following that, I did create more courses on different other kinds of software. I guess my core course, which got the most students and had the most success, is the ChatGPT one I made at the beginning of 2023 because I was already playing with AI in 2022, so I knew that this is going to be mainstream. So I kind of had luck in terms of figuring out which kind of software is going to become uh, more mainstream, so to say, because this is the game you're trying to play when you're making courses, especially on marketplaces which are very crowded. Trying to figure out which is going to be the next mainstream thing. You don't want to go niche, you want to go broad and as broad as possible without having a lot of competition. Next, one of the, I mean, I, I mean, I've tried to do other forms of education via cohort and live trainings. I also did some corporate trainings, although that's when I think I realized that most employees aren't excited to learn. They just want to get some time off and do their own things. Although there were some people who were truly excited about AI when I was giving the corporate trainings, so not everyone is the same. The first product which had more success than most others was NotClass, the first version of NotClass. The core thesis was this. There's so much free content online, and now I had this idea of wait, we don't have an accessibility issue. We have so much content. Why is there need for courses? Like, it makes absolutely no sense. And always the argument was the same. Courses give you structured information so that you don't have to spend time and search it yourself. And I was thinking, well, wait a second. You have all of this free content online accessible to anyone on YouTube, and what you could do is you just take that, you vectorize it. Well, first you chunk it and then vectorize it. And then if you want to build something new, tailored specifically to each person, you just rearrange the clips. Like, you have all of this free information, why not rearrange it and give it as a course back? So that was not class, the first version of it, which was quite. I mean, it went quite well. We had over 10,000 registered users, and the way it worked was simple. We took most of the educational channels on YouTube, primarily university channels and so on and so forth. Then we took their transcript, so we chunked their whole transcript into multiple parts and also linked them with the timestamp at which that part started. Then we vectorized all of the transcripts, the little chunks, and then when a user inputted a query, we would take the query, we would get a whole course made for that user, and then we just simply did semantic search based on every single lesson with all the content we had from YouTube. And the idea was simple. We just took the free content and we rearranged it so that we can create tailored courses for everyone. It solved many problems. One, it solved the problem of figuring out yourself the way in which you learn things. Two, it solved the issue with going on YouTube, and when you already know something about a topic, most other videos you're gonna watch are gonna repeat the same thing. So 80% of the content is gonna be redundant. What we did is we took that redundancy out of the question, because what happened is you didn't have to watch the full clip, you just had to watch a segment. In the end, I realized it was expensive, the churn rate was very high, and I just thought this is not really what I want to work on. Because at the core, while I thought of accessibility differently, as we have all of this accessible content, accessibility isn't the core issue anymore, I still was solving the same problem, accessibility, right? Because it's about giving people more content. Yes, it's the right content, but then I was assuming it's not really the main problem in edtech, one. And two, it feels like one of the problems that probably AI labs are going to solve themselves, so I just ended the project. Although It was truly one of those projects which I enjoyed working on quite a lot. And I did many other things besides education in terms of products, but that was one of the main ones. And as of late, I'm working on the newest version of No Class, which is entirely different. So my philosophy is we need more tools to build with. Basically, I would say that DaVinci Resolve made more video editors than any filmmaking school. But then there's also coding. Coding is a very interesting example. I think no other domain has had as much of a success online in terms of people who actually start to learn something and then end learning that thing. Or in general, coding is probably one of the most learned things online. But why is that? And why is it so easy to learn coding online? If you think about it, what coding offers is feedback loops with almost zero delay. Or the idea is, it's one of those fields where testing something is so easy that you can see your own results, you can see your own mental model in real time. The problem is that most other domains don't have that. So take physics, for example, right? You have a problem that you're doing, and then you have all of these laws and connections between information within your brain, right? And when you're solving a physics problem, you have a mental model of how the world works. But then there is the actual real model of how the world works. And those aren't, and usually will never be the same. And you have to adapt your mental model to match as much as possible the reality model. Now, the problem with that is you have to see your mental model to understand that it's wrong. If you don't see how your mental model is wrong, it's gonna just sound intuitive to you and it's not gonna make sense. So the point is understanding why the correct answer is the correct answer never helps. Although this is what education actually does. The thing that helps is falsifying your wrong model, understanding why your wrong model is wrong. That's by far what is going to take you furthest in terms of understanding. So coding has that. You can test your models, your mental models of how a program should work, and you see the feedback in real time. Take cycling. Why almost I think like any human can learn cycling, right? Why is that? The feedback is instantaneous. You don't wait for it. You get it and you tweak and you go through the 10,000 iterations quite fast. Video editing, you have tools to build with. Coding, you have tools to build with. So in the end, I think everything boils down to one thing: build tools to create with. We need more creators, not more consumers. Because creation is the ultimate level of understanding. Richard Feynman said it. What I cannot create, I do not understand. So the point is, when you create, you cannot lie to yourself. You cannot half answer a question. You either know the thing or you don't. So that's kind of my philosophy right now. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna see how is my progress in terms of learning with AI gonna change my perspective on the subject, whether it's gonna change my perspective on the subject, and in the end, hopefully build something which truly helps people, like actually helps people, a tool to create with.